Hello everyone, Simon here. Welcome back to the architecture of Hitman, World of Assassination. We are in the Maldives. It's kind of stormy, huh? So the way the game works, this level, it starts out sunny and clear, and then over time the storm clouds roll in. And because it takes me so long to prepare the map, we're stuck with the storm. If you want to see sunny Maldives in the game, you're gonna have to play this yourself. The weather doesn't affect our architecture too much though. So, we are on an island called Haven Island. That's not a real island in the real world. It's entirely fictional, but it's basically just based on a real, well, it's based on the real thing in the Maldives. What do we have? We have clear waters. Oh, look at that. We have palm trees. We have sandy beaches. Alright. An island paradise, except for the storm, of course. So, what and where are the Maldives? Let's go ahead and check the map. So here we are, we have India. Saudi Arabia is there, Africa is there, and then Southeast Asia is there. So the Indian Ocean, in the middle of the Indian Ocean, we have the Maldives. If we zoom in a bit, there's an underwater mountain range smack in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And sitting on top of that mountain range, we have a number of coral reefs and lagoons. And that's the Maldives. So it's an island country, a whole lot of relatively small islands. And the people live on some of the bigger islands, although bigger is relative, like they're all small islands. So the capital city is here, Malay. You can see how on the inhabited islands, everybody's just kind of crowded in like that. Oh, look at that. Not bad, not bad. Airport there. So the main industry in the Maldives is fishing, because there's so much ocean, right? But secondary to fishing, tourism is also a big and ever more popular industry. So if we zoom into some of the other islands, oh, look at that. So we see a resort island here. We have a bunch of cabins over the water there, cabins over the water there, cabins over the water there, a lot of cabins, cabins. And then some of the resort buildings. Oh, and a port for big ships. Right, so you have like a resort like that. Very nice. It looks kind of artificial, doesn't it? I think maybe they've shaped the island to make it more attractive for the tourists. I'm not sure if that's the natural shape. I'm pretty sure that's not the natural shape, actually. And then if we just kind of look around. Oh, another resort there. What does that one look like? Oh, interesting. We have the main resort buildings, and then we have some cabins out here, and then a string of cabins out there. You see the pattern, right? So you have these beautiful tropical island resorts, and the cabins over the water are very popular. You have like cabins all along the beaches, and also cabins over the water. Look at that. So another resort there, and then over here, oh, another one, cabins, a string of cabins with a little port. Oh, nice, alright. So that's basically the Maldives. You have the buildings where, or the islands where the people live, and then you have the resort islands. And that's more or less it. There are a number of uninhabited islands too, a lot of them are actually uninhabited. What's going on here? Let me just check. Oh, more resort, you see the all the cabins strung out, right? Oh, that's kind of cool. Look at that. Right, so that's the Maldives. And in the game, oh, look at that. We have cabins over the water, and then we have some resort buildings over there. So, similar thing to the real-world resorts, although much smaller in the game. Okay, let's go and take a look around the island. We start off on a pier. You can see some boats here, and also some seaplanes out there. So I think this is the only access to the island. Well, this is the main access to the island. It's just like this. You just come by boat or by plane, and you land here. I mean, it's pretty small pier, so it's a pretty small island, right? And then by the beach, right up front, we have these cabins. Let's go look at one of the cabins. All the cabins are pretty much the same, so we don't have to look at all of them. Let's take a look at one of them, this one. We have the timber walkway across the water, just like you saw in the aerial photos. We have lights. Oh, I probably should like point this out. You see these electric lights? So there should be electric cables hidden under here, but there isn't, right? There's no pipes, there's no cables. So that's probably an oversight. Otherwise, how are you gonna get electricity into the hut, right? So in the real world, you would hide all your services underneath the walkway. We have glass walls, very modern, but above there we have a thatch roof, and in fact if you look up there, it's actually an authentic thatch roof. So thatch, it's kind of like just straw, it's just kind of plant material. If it's in good condition, thatch is actually quite good for keeping the rain out. Like it seems like it's just loose, right? It seems like the rain should seep in, but actually it doesn't. It actually does a great job of keeping the water out, if it is in good condition. Because it's organic, you have to renew it every once in a while. Sometimes in in huts like these, they would fake it these days. They would have like a sheet metal roof and then just kind of put thatch on top and to pretend it's a thatch roof, but it's actually a modern roof. But not here, apparently. Apparently this is authentic thatch with no sheet metal underneath. Although the walls have a lot of glass. Around here we have some outdoor living areas. So since we are in a tropical island paradise, obviously outdoor living is quite nice. Although it does rain quite a lot in the Maldives. We are in the middle of the ocean. There's plenty of water. A lot of rain. But aside from the rain, it's quite nice outdoors. We have more outdoor living and a swimming pool back here. If you don't want to swim in the ocean, you can swim up here. So the Maldives, it's consistently balmy. Like it's warm, like in the 30s Celsius. Quite hot. So it would be nice to just kind of sit in the pool if you want to be outside. And it's just like it's that temperature all year round, right? There's no warm season and cool season because you're pretty much on the equator, so it's just the same temperature all year round. Although there is a monsoon, so there's a dry season and a wet season, but the temperature is the same, which is interesting. All right, very nice. Ooh, outdoor living. Let's go back to the front door and take a look inside the cabin. Oh, it's a big cabin, by the way. This is like a luxury resort. Generally speaking, the cabins aren't this big, unless you pay a lot of money for them. In here, we have a big-ass lounge. Right, very good. Chairs, big TV, huge TV. The interior design of this thing, you notice it's quite modern, and it's quite clean. The floors are very clean, polished wood. So even though it's got the thatch roof thing, there's nothing primitive about this, right? All the furnishings are very modern and very new. Back here we have a bedroom. Very nice. So about these big doors, in tropical weather, because it's hot and humid, usually what you want is to be able to open up all the walls and let the breeze come through, unless it's really windy. Maybe like when there's a storm you don't do that. But like most days you would just kind of open it up, let the breeze come through, so it doesn't get too stuffy inside. And the fact that all that is open up there, notice the walls don't go to the ceiling, right? So even if you like close most of the doors, the thatch isn't completely airtight, and so the air would kind of flow through a little bit regardless. And that helps to maintain a reasonable temperature. There's no air conditioning or fans in here. That's a little strange. I think usually you would find at least a fan in each room, a mechanical fan. This might get a little hot on like calm days. On this side we have bathroom. We have a sink there, a bath there, and a toilet there, and then another little patio thing out here, which is kind of interesting. It's outside the bath. There's a little sitting area next to the bath. A little odd, but sure, why not? Okay, and that's the cabin, and all four cabins are the same. Oh, before I go anywhere else, so notice okay, the bath is there, right? The sink is there, the toilet's there. Let's go underneath. Ah, wrong place. Excuse me, we don't want to hide in the box. Alright, so we go downstairs, come underneath here, and no pipes. Where are the pipes? Where does the poop go? The toilet is right above here, and there's nowhere for the poop to go. I guess maybe it's a little too much to ask that they put proper pipes down here. Never mind, it's a video game. Of course, if it's a real cabin with a toilet, there would have to be pipes down here. And in fact, it raises an interesting question of where does the poop go? I don't think you would dump the poop just into the ocean. I mean, technically you can, but if there's like a lot of people and everybody's pooping in the ocean, it becomes quite unsanitary very quick, right? So you need to pipe the poop into some sort of septic tank. So a septic tank, if you don't know, is basically where you don't have central sewage connections, which we don't on an island. You would have to like have a big tank in the ground, and you just store all the poop in the tank, and then when it gets full, you have to pump it out and take it somewhere else. So that's a septic tank, and we have no septic tanks on the island, so we don't actually know where the poop goes. But in the real world, it would have to go somewhere. And also the floor beams don't line up with the foundations. Just, never mind. Never mind. Look, because look, these line up. Look at that. See these piles, and then those beams sit on the piles. So these line up, right? This is fine. Somehow, not those ones. Okay, so that's the cabins. Very cool. Let's get into the island. This is the main reception area, and in fact there's a map over here. Let's just take a look at this map real quick. This will help us understand what's going on. Too close. So number 2 was the housing where we were. Can you see that? And then number 1 is the reception, where we are now. Number 7 we have activities. That way, activities. And then 4 and 3 over that way. 4 and 3 are restaurant and bar. And then behind here we have spa and pool. And then over there we have the gym. And then 7 activities, right? We got that already. And then on the other side of the island, look at that. There's like a red hash. And it says area off limits, right? So there's 2 extra bits behind where it's off limits. Oh, I just realized my face was in front of the thing. Can you see that? Alright, that's the map. So this here is the reception. It's completely open, by the way. Again, the thatch roof. Timber construction. Timber looks pretty clean. Pretty well maintained. And fancy lights. And then reception desk. Interesting, there's no place to do paperwork. Like, do they keep any cash here? Like, how would they... Usually a hotel or a resort would have to have some offices. Now that I think about it, there aren't any offices in the entire place. Yeah, no, there's no offices in the entire place. Alright, behind the reception,
Laser focused.
we have a pool. A pool with a bar in the middle. Isn't that fancy? So these are fun, right? Just chill out. Chill out by the pool or in the pool, get a drink. The pool is right behind the reception, and it's also like smack in the middle of the resort. So this is like the crossroads between everything. And I would guess that this place gets pretty lively, right? This would be like the hub, the social hub, probably. This pool here. Behind the pool, not too much to say about the architectural style. It's basically just wooden huts. I would mention though, these are not like traditional wooden huts. These look like modern buildings pretending to be traditional huts, because they're not really traditional. The building, the construction methods is very modern. You have columns and wooden panels. There's no traditional construction techniques to be seen at all. I mean, the roof, I mean, some of that is a little bit interesting because they're using the raw wood. It's unshaped. There's no detailing. There's no traditional construction method in the detailing though, not that I can tell. It's just like geometry stuck together. I guess they didn't pay that much attention to it. Okay, in here. This is the spa and massages area. Looking at the roof again. And then the walls, we have these louvers. And then a lot of wood. Like it's resort architecture. It's like it's a modern structure made to look like it belongs in the Maldives. It's like what do you call it? It's like theme park architecture, or like, you know, like Disneyland architecture. There's like castles, like a real castle, and then there's the Disneyland castle. And the Disneyland castle is not a real castle, right? It's like a fiction, fantasy, cartoon castle. So this architecture, it's like a Disneyland Maldives architecture, if that makes sense. It's not authentic, local, traditional Maldives architecture. It's like modern architecture made to look vaguely like Maldives architecture is what this is. And this is what you usually find in resorts, right? People aren't really there looking for the real authentic thing. They're just there to have a holiday, right? Back behind here, we have changing room, right? Nothing remarkable. And then into here, we have oh, chairs. You get foot massages if you're into it. Spas out there, and then we have massage tables in two side rooms. So this is the massages and spa area. Same thing on this side. Very nice. You will notice that the building forms a wall on three sides. So this gives you a lot of privacy. Look at this. There's no, there's not really any windows. So this is like a good privacy to get your massages and your spa here. Or rather, this would be private if that part of the island wasn't so close over there. So in a real Maldives island, the lagoon would just be much bigger, right? It would just sweep out a lot further. This lagoon is way too small for anything in the real world. So if you imagine that, but it's like 3 times further away, then there'll be plenty of privacy here in the spa. So it's kind of cool. It's closed off towards the crowds, and it is open on this side. Like, The massage rooms are completely open on this side, so it's open towards the view and away from people. Again, for privacy. Right, very clever. Let's get back out. So from the pool, if we go that way, we have another building, a 2-story structure. You know, I'm starting to think the thatch roof is kind of silly the more I look at it, because this 2-story structure is very clearly just a modern resort building, and the thatch roof is just like a very cheap disguise to make it look local. Why is it thatch? Why did you use thatch? Like, this is clearly not a traditional building. And then you just put the thatch on top. Okay. I mean, you're not fooling me. Up here we have a gym. Oh, look at that guy. Yeah, lift those weights. Lift those weights. Punch those bags. I'm not sure how I feel about the gym though. Because... why wouldn't you just exercise on the beach? Or like go for a swim in the ocean or something? Why would you like go into a room in a building to exercise? Okay, why don't you just go running? There's like stationary bikes. Why don't you just ride a bike around the beach? I'm not going anywhere. So like, okay, no, listen to me, A gym, in my mind, you go to a gym if you're in a city and like it's just not that pleasant outdoors, or if the climate is bad and it's raining, so you go exercise in the gym because you can't run outside. If you could run outside and you're in a tropical paradise outside, why would you exercise in the gym? Right? Is that just me or am I crazy? Anyway, the gym. And then, if we come downstairs, the downstairs of this building, oh, we have signs here. Oh, they're all pictograms. The downstairs, here we have a medical bay. Probably important because we're so far away from anything else. So if there are any medical emergencies, you try to give them quick treatment. Next to the medical bay, we have the break room for the security staff. Very cool. You'll notice the security is quite close to the middle of the resort, which is probably good because they can respond quickly if they're near everything else. Back here, we have outdoor showers. I wonder about this though. I feel like the showers, maybe they should be closer to the beach, just because you shower after you get out of the ocean, don't you? I mean, that's what these are for, right? In here we have toilets. Everybody needs toilets. And then on this side of the building we have the laundry as well. Hotels and resorts definitely need laundries. In fact, I wonder if this is not too small. Look how crowded this is. Yeah, I feel like this is too small. Might need a bigger laundry. Right, and then from here, if we go this way, towards the beach again. Here, this is the activities. I guess this is like the equipment rental. We have water skis, scuba diving gear, right? And jet skis and boats. Alright, so this is where you get the equipment. Just check the building again. What does that look like? Unremarkable. Not sure why there's a net up there. Doesn't really serve any purpose. Why is there a net up there? Oh, fans. Yeah, no, you probably should have fans in every room in a climate like this. All right, so those are the cabins again. Around here we have a beach. Nothing too remarkable. The sand is very white. Surprisingly white. The Maldives are coral reefs. So I think this is essentially broken coral, the sand, which would explain why it's so white. Nothing but ocean out there. Oh, I didn't mention this earlier, I probably should have. So there's only 4 rooms. It's only 4 cabins in the entire resort. If you remember in the on the map, the resorts had like a lot of cabins. Because 4 cabins is not enough, right? I mean, how many guests? Like, you look at the number of people here. There's more people than there are cabins already. So, like, you know, for a video game, they wanna limit the scale of the level, right, of the map, and so that's why there's only 4 cabins. A real resort would have like 40 cabins, maybe 10 times as many. You would notice there are other islands out there though. Look at that out there, and there are like buildings on those islands back there as well. It's possible there are more cabins out that way. Maybe that's how we rationalize this, is that these are the VIP cabins, and then over on the smaller islands there are other cabins, maybe. But anyway, a proper resort will have more than 4 cabins. Alright, running around the beach. Man, look at that rain. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Looks kind of realistic. So this beach comes around. Behind here, there's a private island. So that island is not part of the resort. There's a little bridge over, and then there's like, what does that say? Private property, no trespassing, yeah. I mean, the security is kind of weak, but there are guards patrolling this island. There's a lot of guards patrolling this island. Let's come around here. We have guards. Over here, look at this. There's a pier, but the pier is under the water. It's kind of submerged in the water. So the Maldives is very low lying, right? And now there's sea level rise, right? Because of global warming. Global warming, the planet gets a little bit warmer. When the ocean is warmer, the water expands. And so the water expands and the sea levels rise. And that the Maldives is extremely vulnerable to sea level rise because of how low all the islands are in the Maldives. And I guess this submerged pier is just like talking about sea level rise. At some point in the past, like obviously you wouldn't build a pier underwater, that doesn't make any sense. You build it above water, right? But if the sea level rises, then it submerges the pier. Alright, coming this way. Over here we have a little pavilion here. Interesting. So on the private island, there's this little structure. It's a very plain structure actually, there's no thatch roof. And even the structure itself is not painted. So the other stuff is painted brown, right? This stuff is just unpainted. Or maybe the paint is worn off. So this is a more modest structure. There's a guy here, and there's like drinks and a barbecue. So this is like a private structure, I guess. A little seating area. Hidden away on the private island between the trees. Kinda nice. Alright, let's get off the island. Get off the private island. There's another one there, we'll go there later. So that is the spa and the massage rooms, if you remember. We are going back that way. If we come back to the central pool and then go to the other side of it, right, central pool, other side, we have a bit of a garden area. Interesting. Just gardens. So the Maldives, especially this island, it's mostly just sand. It's like a sand above the water. And the vegetation can grow in the sand, and that's kind of important because the vegetation, the roots of the vegetation helps hold the sand together, because otherwise the sand would just kind of be blown off by the wind. And like the island would not be very secure or not very stable without the vegetation. So the vegetation helps to stabilize the island. So it's a good idea not to just kill all the vegetation and remove it. You don't want to remove the vegetation on an island like this. Like the whole thing can just literally blow away in the wind if you do. Yeah, it's not fun. Alright, there's this building. Let's go up this. I guess there's two buildings here, but they're on the same platform. Over this side we have the bar. Look at that. Get some drinks. We have fairy lights up there, very interesting. The bar with a buffet, people partying. Nothing too much to say about this, right? Behind here we have people washing dishes. Alright.
Oh my, what on earth is that?
And then on the other side of this,
But he feels like a real tough guy in that outfit.
we have a restaurant with a big kitchen. Look at that, big ass kitchen. Not that many tables though. I think that's the only kitchen on the entire island, now that I think about it. Yeah. So there's only one kitchen on the entire island. And I believe that means the cabins will also have to be served from here. Like if you want to have food in your own room, you have to order them from here. Right, and that's this building. Just a restaurant and a bar. Sitting over here, sitting over there, and then underneath this thing, this is not very pleasant down here. Look at this. Is this supposed to be open to the public? I mean, it is, kind of. Just seems a little low and a little dark. I wonder about this. Maybe it's not supposed to be open to the public. So here we have storage and miscellaneous services things. This way we have toilets. This is the woman's toilet. Let me not stay here too long because I'm not supposed to be here. Oh, it's locked. Crap. And then through here, the men's toilet. Very fancy. Very fancy. Oh, look at that. Did someone pee on the floor? Why is it wet? Ew. Alright, toilets. And then over to the other side of the building we have storage again. This time food storage. Very nice. So about these raised buildings, right? The sea sometimes rises up, so there's like tides, obviously. Usually the tides don't come all the way up, but if there's a storm, there can be a storm surge, and then the tide can come up. And so if things get really bad, what you want to do is keep the valuable stuff above and not keep the valuable stuff down below. So you notice like, you know, like the cabins are all raised up Maybe they should be raised up higher, I don't know, maybe that's not high enough. This, like it's raised up. I'm not sure if we should keep the food down here though, because like if there's a storm, you wanna not lose the food, right? So maybe like canned food is okay down here, but like the fresh food, maybe that should be kept upstairs, right? I don't know, just thinking out loud. It's one of the things you think about if you're like designing these things for real. Like the reception, I guess, that can get flooded, not a big problem. The pool can get flooded, I mean, it's not nice, but it's not too much of a problem. But like any valuables, like any electronics, you want to just keep above the ground floor. If you're worried about the possibility of flooding, right? Over this way we have another bar. There's a lot of bars, huh? Over here we have a palm grove, they call it. I guess we have some palm trees here by the beach. Kind of nice. I wonder if there shouldn't be more vegetation down on the ground. Do palm trees just grow straight in the sand like this? I mean, I guess they do. The thing is, look, the vegetation, they work together, right? Like one tree is not that good at holding the sand together. If you have like a lot of trees close together, then they have more success holding the sand together. Because if the sand kind of blows away from the roots, it's not great for the tree either, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, like, how healthy the trees are when they're, like, isolated like this. Like this is probably fine, because there's more vegetation, right? Anyway. If we come around this way, hidden here, inside the vegetation, we have a bit of a security area. Look at that. So there's a big ass radio tower there. And down here we have a security room, I guess. Right? A lot of computers, surveillance. The security room looks like a temporary structure. Look at this. It's basically containers. So it's a temporary structure that you can pack away on containers and ship somewhere else. In fact, it even says max gross. So this is like a maximum 30,000 or 30 tons. So it's actually a container. I'm not sure about this because I feel like they need a... Like, if it's temporary like this, it implies that, you know, it can move, right? The containers imply that they can move, which means it's temporary. But why would you set up a temporary radio tower? Not sure. Not sure it makes any sense. Oh, radio towers like this, they would need cables holding them down. Because what's stopping this thing from falling over, right? Nothing. A long radio tower like this will have cables tying it down so that it doesn't fall over. This one doesn't have cables, so there's no way this thing's gonna stand up like this. And also the foundations seem a little small. This seems a little bit small. So the radio tower is wrong. Missing some details. Okay, and then here we have a villa. A private villa. Is there anything to say about this around here? Not really. You can see there's a wall around the whole thing. So there's a walled compound, and then behind the wall there's a private villa.
That looks perfect.
Right through here.
Death
Oh,
himself.
look at that. Notice how the walls are a lot less open than all the structures. So all the structures over in the resort either don't have walls at all, it's completely open, or they have like big glass panels, right? Or big glass doors. I guess there's like glass doors here too, but look at those vertical windows. It's kind of like narrow. It feels a little bit prison-like, like the tall, narrow windows. Or like a castle. Castles have tall, narrow windows. Prisons have tall, narrow windows. So this villa is less friendly, less open, more private. Down here up front, this is interesting. Look, there's like a little pond here. Fountain, I guess. Look at that. Look at that pattern down there. Isn't that cool? That looks like traditional Maldives architecture motifs, doesn't it? So the Maldives, a brief history of the Maldives. It was Buddhist, so it's the south of India, right? So earlier on there were Hindu and Buddhist influences from India, and then later on Muslim traders came from the Middle East. Muslim traders traded all the way to Southeast Asia. So it went from Buddhist to Muslim, and then after that the English came, and the English colonized the Maldives, and then the Maldives gained independence, and etc. So this pattern looks a little Islamic to me, although not purely Middle Eastern Islamic, kind of like a interesting fusion of Asian and Muslim influences. Or that's how that looks to me, being somebody who's never been to the Maldives, nor have I ever studied Maldive architecture or art. That looks like an interesting fusion of Asian and Islamic influences. So this is cool, very cool. But you'll notice that there's none of this stuff in the resort. Remember how I said like the resort is like Disneyland Maldives? Like there's no real culture, there's no real architecture, there's no real history. It's just stuff that looks vaguely like it belongs on a tropical island. It's not. There's no authentic Maldives culture in the resort at all. This looks like a piece of authentic Maldives culture to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that pattern there, that one there. Alright, let's walk around the villa, have a look around.
It's my ass on the line here. You got it?
The villa has big balconies all the way around, wide staircases. Look at that, staircase, balconies. And then like high security walls. This way. Around the back we have a swimming pool. Nice, a private swimming pool. Over here we have a barbecue area. Very cool. This guy is cooking up some hamburgers. Oh, that looks nice. The hot dogs. Oh yeah. Not exactly local cuisine. The French fries. What are you doing? Definitely not local cuisine. But I guess you can do whatever you like. Alright, barbecue area, private boat, swimming pool. And then out this way, more seating area. Oh, look at that. There's some like open air beds on the beach. That's kind of fancy, isn't it? Would you do that? Even if the weather's nice, would you just kind of sleep outside like this? Maybe you would. I mean, it is an island paradise after all, right? Just sleep outside. This way we have a bar. A big bar. A big bar that potentially serves a lot of people. So this is a little strange to me. The villa is supposed to be a private villa. Like this stuff looks like it should be part of the resort. Like it should serve a lot of people, it looks like. But this is like a high security private villa. On the other hand, it's a private villa, but there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of guards, first of all. But there's also a bunch of people who aren't guards, in the high security private villa part of the island. So like these are not public guests. I don't know who these people are. Well, I kind of know who these people are. But just looking at this, it doesn't seem to make sense why there's so many people in this private villa. And why are there facilities here that seem to serve a lot of people, right? Mysterious. Here we come back to the loop. Oh, we made the loop around the island. So remember the private island? And then there's the spa back there. There's the radio tower. So the island is a big circle, and we've gone around the whole circle. And that's Haven Island. Or is it? Dun dun dun, it's not Haven Island. There's more Haven Island. Ah. Oh, we haven't been inside the villa yet, hold on. Let's go inside the villa first. Although, the inside of the villa, it's not that interesting. Anyway, in the front door, we have the entrance lobby with a big ass staircase and a double height space. Pretty standard, it seems like, in a lot of mansions. A seating area. Cool. Over here, security. There's a lot of security. Why is there so much security in this villa? What are they guarding? Also, what is that? Oh, this is this island. Oh, that's cool. Security room there. Back here we have dining. Pretty small dining table though, interesting. And a bit of a bar. And then back here we don't actually have a kitchen. I mean, we have some cutlery and plates and things, but no actual kitchen? Curious. I mean, I guess the hotel, like the resort, has a big kitchen, and maybe that kitchen serves this villa as well. It's a little interesting the villa doesn't have any cooking facilities, except the barbecue outside, I guess. Alright, back here at the back door, and there's the swimming pool again. Over this side we have the living room slash lounge, and a bit of a library, a lot of books. Okay, interesting. And then upstairs, that's this space. Over and behind this door we have a bedroom. What is this actually? Because this is the wardrobe. Is this also a wardrobe? Here with the bath. We have a bath and a wardrobe, but curiously, no toilet. But there's a basin and there's a bath, but there's no toilet. No way to poop. Curious. Around here we have
Good day to you, sir.
a big projector. So this is just a theater, basically. There's a whole theater in this corner of the house. Look at that. Notice the acoustic panels behind the seating. Isn't that cool? To reduce the echo, so you get a clear sound from the sound system. Some ideas if you're interested in this sort of thing, by the way. Like acoustic panels behind you. Alright, so this is the... Notice how all the curtains are drawn. Ah, it's very unfriendly, isn't it?
It's a hot one today.
On this side we have a kind of a nothing room, where this one doesn't have anything in it. A nothing room And then we have a bath, a spa bath, a basin, and then hidden behind here, the toilet. So there's one toilet in the whole house. The entire villa has like exactly one pooper. And you notice how many people there are, right? Do all of these people use one toilet? There's 2 giant bedrooms, only one toilet. Isn't that strange? I don't know if that's an oversight or if it's on purpose, but it's very strange that there's so many people in this villa. Here's the other bedroom
Come on,
with
chest out,
another
chin up.
big wardrobe. And that is the villa. I guess there's the balcony outside. Not that there's too much to say about the balcony. The balcony goes all the way around the outside, and there's really nothing here. Like the villa, if there were a few more toilets and less people,
Great.
it would be a lot less strange.
Malaria or something?
The fact that there's so many people is a bit strange, and the fact that there's a big bar here is a bit strange. I don't know if this next part explains anything, but actually, under the villa... Oh, what's this? Under the villa, there is a basement that keeps going down. Interesting. So this is the first basement on the entire island. And in fact, building basements on an island like this is impractical and complicated. Because it's a very small sandy island, right? First of all, it's sand. So you dig down, the sand just kind of collapses in. And it's water. And we're very close to the water as well, so the water will flood in and the sand just collapses in. It's like you're trying to dig a hole in the beach, basically. And you just get sand and seawater. So building a basement underneath the pile of sand like this, it's a real pain in the ass. And I don't even know if you can do it, just because of how difficult it is. And like even after you've dug the hole, you need to waterproof the thing because the water, like it's ocean outside, right? You need to stop the water coming in. But apparently, there's a very big and very deep basement. This says we are under the ocean, but actually we shouldn't be because the villa's here. We should be under the sand. Like all of this should be sand. In fact, even in the ocean outside, it's very shallow. So all of this should just be piled up sand. And so there's no reason why there should be a ocean right here. So this is a mistake, an oversight. We should be just in sand. Oh, what the hell is going on here? Look at this. Under the villa is a massive computer server. This doesn't actually line up because again, we should be in sand, we should not be in the ocean. That's ocean water out there. This is just storage, right? Okay, that's just storage. And then down here we have a lot of computers. So this is not practical and not realistic, but according to the game, according to the story in the game, they're running a secret server down here holding a lot of secret information is what they're doing. And the big radio tower, that's part of this too. I think they're doing like surveillance work. And that's what the big radio tower is supposed to be about. So that's a purely a fictional device for the game. Otherwise, this is unlikely, right? Extremely unlikely that you would build a computer server under the water. We shouldn't even be under the water. I guess it's like having computers under the water, you can use the ocean as part of your your heat management with your computers. So I mean, there's a little bit of merit to putting computers underwater, but then there's a lot of risks as well, right? Like if it leaks, what happens? If the water comes in and floods your computers with seawater, what happens then, right? So there's a lot of downsides to doing something like this. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about this. I mean, it's very shiny, isn't it? Look how shiny that is. Why is it lit up like that? I mean, this is theatrics, right? It's not practical. Alright, let's look around back here. Here we have canteen for the staff. Oh, here's the kitchen. Although there's only a couple of microwaves, it's not a proper kitchen. How would they get food down here? You'll have to come down the stairs? How did they get the stuff down here? We have toilets. And then we have a locker room. I feel like there's a lot of bits missing here. Like there's a... like toilets. How did they get like spare parts down here for the computers? Because computer servers like this, they need to be repaired and replaced. A lot. How to get food down here? Where do all these people sleep? Like this... So there's like the staff looking after the computers, and then there's all the security, right? And that explains all the people upstairs in the villa. But there's only 2 beds in the villa, right? So where do all these other people sleep? So a lot of stuff doesn't line up, and I think it's just an oversight. Like they just haven't thought about it that hard when they designed this level. Not great. Okay, let's go back outside. Like the villa stuff, the villa is mostly there. I mean, there's no septic tanks and there's no plumbing. But aside from that, like most of the pieces of the resort, I mean, most of the resort is fairly well done. It makes sense. This villa stuff, the underground server stuff, there's a lot of things that don't really make any sense. And I get the impression that the game designers, like they went to a resort maybe, they looked around, and then they kind of checked all the pieces and they put all the pieces in. But there's stuff that they're missing, like the services, like where's the electricity? Like where's the electricity generated? Where does the electricity come from? Nowhere. Where does the water come from? And where does the sewage go? Nowhere, right? And where are the office buildings for the resort? Nowhere. So there's a whole lot of stuff like that that are missing. But the public part of the resort, all of that is there, like the rooms, the pools, the spa, you know, the gym, all that stuff. Okay, all that's there. The villa, there's no kitchen and there's only 1 bathroom. That's kind of weird. But yeah, I just get the feeling it's not very well thought through, this level. Superficially it looks fine, right? Like if you're not keeping count of all the rooms, it looks fine. It looks like a resort. But if you do start keeping count, like you get the feeling that they didn't have an actual architect go through all of this to make sure all the pieces are there, right? Anyway, so that's Haven Island in the Maldives. Let's sum up. So, island resorts in the Maldives is very iconic, right? Like you go to the Maldives and there are a lot of resorts out there, and they take advantage of the whole tropical island thing, and I'm sure a lot of people would love to go spend some time on a tropical island paradise. It's also the kind of luxury getaway. And that's a great setting for a game like this. Remember, Hitman is a game about going to exotic locations to murder people, right? So you know, an island paradise, nice. This resort, compared to a real resort, this resort is clearly way too small, right? And like it's got most of the pieces. It's missing some pieces, as I said, mostly the service pieces, or like the non-public pieces seem to be missing, but the public pieces are all there. It looks okay. Like if you don't look too closely, it's a nice Maldives resort. I'm kind of glad that they put the storm in too, right? And remember the submerged pier over there? I'm kind of glad they put like little details like that in, so that you don't get the mistaken impression that it's an island paradise all the time, that there are actually troubles in the islands sometimes, like storms and sea level rise. Cause like, you know, if it's just like the island paradise stereotype, it can get a little shallow, right? And it's good to have a little bit of some few things to subvert the stereotype a little bit, just to keep things interesting. The villa is very strange. I already went through it, I guess. It's missing a few pieces. Doesn't have a kitchen, doesn't have enough toilets. It's too big to be a private house in a way. I mean, like, some people live in houses that are too big, so it's not unusual to have a house that's too big. But then for a house that's that big, it doesn't have all the pieces, and there's too many people hanging around who don't actually live in the house. But it turns out that it's actually a cover for the secret facility underground. Although if it's secret, they're not hiding it very well because all the people are just hanging around outside. It's a little strange. Like it doesn't really make any sense if you think about it. What the hell is that noise? Is that in the game? Wild. Yeah. So. Oh, it's not in the game. It's outside. My bad. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So the underground server thing on an island like this, very impractical. I can't even imagine how you would dig a box into the sand like that. Like it'd be a lot of work. Like you have to build it before you build the villa. Yeah, I don't know how that would work, to be honest. Because, you know, like an island like this, the sand is... It's not that stable. I mean, it's kind of stable, it's not that stable. The sand moves a little bit sometimes. Anyway, so if you don't think about it too hard, cool level. If you think about it a lot more, then things are a little strange. Anyway, that's the end of our visit to the Maldives. I still have to eliminate Steven and Ludmilla though, so let me go ahead and finish those guys real quick.
Good work, 47. Ludmilla Petrova has been permanently retired.
So
One more target to go.
That's the Maldives. In the next video,
Taken care of. Well done.
In the next video, we are going
That's
to
all we
a.
need to do from here. Miss Hall should be able to extract the information needed from the Haven servers.
All right.
Good work, 47.
Thank you. In the next video, we are going to a very tall skyscraper in Dubai. Alright, see you next time.